Hi, I'm Candace from Jericho, and you're watching Loud TV.
This world will not represent again. We have walked through the gates of hell, and we've only just begun.
We released The American Dream, okay, about 8 years ago, and after that, after the release of the record, we took about a couple of years to tour full time. We were on the road all of the time. I think by 10 months out of the year, we were touring on that record. During that time, I had gotten married and I wanted to start a family. So the record was winding down. Usually, at that point, it's when you write another record. I know how that goes. That's going to be, it takes time to write the record, it takes time to get it out, then you're starting a whole new touring cycle right from there. So that's where I felt it was time to take a break, and it was time for me to start a family. So I talked to the band, and we all felt like it was a good time to do it. And right there, so that's 2 years, and then another 2 years for me to get pregnant, and then I wanted to be home with my daughter for the very first year. So I did that. So that's around 4 years. And coming back, we didn't have a record label. We didn't have much support at all. We knew we wanted to do some shows. We didn't want to stop being a band. Thankfully, MAD, our booking agent, they believed in us. They offered us Persistence Tour, which for me was a good way to kind of get back into it. I knew that we would have good internet service, so I could Skype with my daughter. It was only 10 days long. So in and out real quick. It was definitely difficult to be away from her, but we made it happen, and from there they were very understanding. For the next 2 years after that, we just kind of eased our way in to see, can we continue to tour? Can I do this? What can we do? Then there was talks of of us actually doing a record. Well, we still didn't have a label. We still didn't know what we were going to do. We were trying to get our old records. So there's that business aspect of it that kind of held things up, and then the personal too. So once we knew that a new record was the way we wanted to go, we started writing it, and it took about 1.5 years. Mike had written a lot of the record, and then it takes time to release it. So right there, that's a quick 8 years. It happens. It's just life, So we didn't stop touring. We didn't take a hiatus. I just couldn't come on tour when I was pregnant. Just didn't work out that way. And once we could come back, we just kind of did what we felt comfortable doing, So now we have a new record label. We're with Napalm. It was really important for us to find a label that actually cared about us. And that was going to put the energy in that we were going to put in, and that understood our situation. I do not want to be a full-time band. I want to be more of a full-time mother. So, so it's finding that balance, and they're working with us to find that balance.
What can I face? This world will not represent again.
Right, it definitely made me approach writing for this record a bit differently. I kind of didn't know what to do, but then once it was clear that it was really important for me to kind of focus my energy on what I wanted out of the world, and what I want for my daughter out of the world, and through working with the other band members and bouncing ideas off of them, that really helped. During the writing of this record, during the pre-production of it, my brother actually got diagnosed with brain cancer, and so I was in Michigan with him while he was in hospice, and we were doing pre-production. It actually was therapeutic for me in a way to be able to kind of write about. My brother is very much a part of my life and a part of music, and he had done so much with arts and stuff, so it was important for me to be able to create something that meant something, so through the inspiration of my daughter, through the inspiration of my brother, we were able to focus that energy, and that's why there's a lot of Cupboard is about my brother, that song Cupboard, and then it kind of ties in with the record cover as well. Through the pain, through the ugliness of the world, there is that contrast. There is something beautiful that you find through that. So, absolutely, a lot had happened. I actually even still during the writing of this record, my husband and I separated about a week after my brother passed. So it was very a lot of change was happening in my life, and a lot of loss and heartache, but also a lot of new beginnings, if that makes sense. And so to me it was very important when you're faced with all that tragedy, when you're faced with all that change, it's up to you which road you choose to take. You know, and what person you become through that fire, you know, so, yeah.
What can I face? This world broken, rebels again. We have walked through the
I was actually camping that weekend, and I mean, there was so many different reasons. Like right away it came out that it was a terrorist attack, and then it ended up being that it's not a terrorist attack, and there was so many back and forth with it, and it's just a sad tragedy, you know. They had said that the man himself had kind of been frequenting gay clubs, and it, you know, you just don't know what's going through somebody's mind. It's sad to see that we are still in a world where we don't feel accepted of who we are, that we go to extreme measures, you know. So my heart's with them, you know, and it's a loss for everywhere, you know. And I think it's, in a way, just like we said, there's beauty in tragedy. It is a beautiful thing that we are all paying more attention to these things in the world, and that they're not just getting swept under the rug, and people are trying to hold each other accountable for their actions and why these things are occurring, you know. So I don't know, it's a real change, it's a real shift in you know, in the world. So
what can I face? This world broken, rebels again.
I'm not going to talk much about that. I personally don't like to talk about that kind of those political issues. It's a shit show. That's all there is. It's a circus, and it's honestly, I think the most tragic part about it is that we have allowed ourselves to get to the point where we don't respect the political party, where we are willing to say these things about presidential candidates. It shouldn't be this way. And I don't know if it's because of the choice of presidential candidates, or because we are allowing ourselves to not be respectful. So I don't know, you know, but I think it's gotta find a balance, you know, so.